Well, hello there, friends and reptile lovers. Welcome to 7th Level Reptiles. My name is Joel, and I am excited you're joining me today as we continue on in this series that you, the subscribers, have been asking for some time. You wanted to follow the clutches from start to finish, so that's what we're doing. I'm going to give you a sneak peek at that clutch when they're first laid, show you how we remove mom, get the egg set up and in the incubator, and then we're going to fast forward 2 months for me, but thankfully only a few seconds for you, and you get to see those babies pipping for the first time, and then we'll cut the eggs so that we can take a better look inside. It's going to be awesome. It's the most fun part every year. After that, I'm going to give you an update of what they look like once they all crawl out of the egg, and then we'll finish it up with what they look like after their first shed, where their true colors really start to reveal themselves, and it will be incredible. There are tons of beautiful snakes ahead, so be sure to stay tuned. Do me a favor, if you're new or if you just haven't, please subscribe to the channel. If you're ready for the video, go down below and comment, like, share the video with a friend, and let's have an amazing day enjoying some of God's beautiful creation. Up today, but I discovered finally this morning that we've got some more eggs. I'm really excited because this mama made me think I'm a little bit crazy, and this will happen sometimes if you breed reptiles, especially at any scale, is you'll think you were certain of something, and then they might make you think you were crazy. So anyway, I actually expected this clutch of eggs to come about 11 or 12 days ago. She is 11 days past when I had her marked to lay. And to be honest, as she was getting closer to that day, based on when she had her post-ovulation shed, I thought she was actually going to go a day or two early. And I was checking like 3 times a day. I'm like, what in the world? And then she kind of went from a really swollen state. She kind of went back down, and I was like, am I just crazy? Is she just building? But it's been now, I think, 41 days post-ovulation shed, and she finally, I just checked on her, and she's laying on some pearly white. So really exciting. This is a first-time mom, and I'll go ahead and break the mystery now with my fancy schmancy clutch card that you probably couldn't read there anyway. But this is the first pairing of my BG Het Clown male, which I've had for years and never had anybody to pair him to really until this year. But he's awesome. We'll get him out here in a little while and show him to you. But he's a Desert Ghost Het Clown, and I paired him to a Fire Pinstripe Yellow Belly Het Desert Ghost. So hopefully our first Desert Ghost visual combos this year. I know I'm a little behind the game, but I'm excited for this clutch nonetheless. So let's take a look at mom. Let's pull her out and see what she's hiding. Could be spicy. Oh my gracious, it looks like she did great. Again, a first-time mom. She's already looking like she wants to hide. Hey there, mama. Oh my goodness, you did so good. No wonder it took you a few extra days. Oh, let me just check you out. I know you're hissing. So again, always just kind of palpate. Looks like she's nice and empty, but we palpate to make sure. And I don't actually have any empty tubs right now. So not sure. I'm going to have to put her in a different size tub for now because all of her size are filled with clean substrate right now. Well, let me figure out where I'm going to put her. I'll be right back. All right, well, that was interesting. Got her figured out, and my son came in to report some activity. But we got 2, 4, 6, 8. Looks like 8 perfect pearly white eggs. Let's get a weight on them and see how they look, and then we'll candle them and get them in a box. $720, a little bit small, but not bad, not unexpected at all.
All right, well, there you have it. Another beautiful clutch in the incubator. Only our second clutch of the year. It feels like kind of a late start, but hopefully a lot will be picking up here. We've had some bad luck with some boys that seem like they don't want to breed this season, so we'll see how it all turns out in the end. But we know we've got multiple other clutches coming, and we can't wait to share those with you as well. I promised you I'd give you a look at the dad from this clutch. This is my guy, Luigi. We used to have a Mario, and this is Luigi, the Desert Ghost het clown. And he's actually one of my bigger males, but he's kind of skittish, but he's doing great. And look at how beautiful he is. Just a great example of desert ghosts. I don't know if he's lighter because of some of that het influence, but regardless, he's a gorgeous boy, and we're glad that he's finally, excuse me, glad that he's finally a dad. Can't wait to see what hatches out of those eggs. We'll be sure to record it for you so you can join us all the way along. And hey, buddy. And anyway, hope you've enjoyed this. Sorry if I sounded funny and I'm clearing my throat. But hey, that's life. Thanks for joining me.
All right, exciting times. This clutch is due to hatch in the next 4 or 5 days. This is our first possible DG clutch. It was a Desert Ghost het clown to fire pin yellow belly het Desert Ghost. So we're going to go ahead and pull off the press and seal. We'll dry the eggs off here because water is sure to drop on them when we pull this off. We'll try to keep it to a minimum. And then we'll just see how they look as we get ready for them to hatch in the next few days. Whoop. Ooh. Let's see. This one looks a little funky. So we want to make sure we get all the direct water droplets off there. Too much water can cause them to mold, and that can grow even in a few days. This one actually had a little bit, looked like on the edge of it. May just be from where the eggs were separated though. So you can see they're starting to sink in a little bit. So hopefully within the next, hopefully 3 days, we'll see a baby starting to pip. That would be day 59, which is about the right time. So I'm just going to kind of manipulate them a little bit here, massage them. Sometimes I don't know if it actually helps, but may help them decide to go ahead and start moving. I am mildly concerned about this and the discoloration on this egg. It doesn't look like mold's growing, so maybe it's nothing, but a little bit of discoloration. Hopefully, we'll find out in a few days, though, and we'll see nice, healthy babies. All right, so there you go. They're looking great, but through the power and magic of YouTube, it is now 4 days in the future, and babies have started pipping. They pipped this morning while I was at work, and so before we wrap it up for the night, I am going to go ahead and do clutch cutting, which I know is y'all's favorite. I love it. It's like Christmas in the summertime, and I'm really excited. It's a great way to end a very long work day, and so I want to invite you to join me. This is our first clutch with the opportunity to produce Desert Ghost morphs, which I think are amazing, but I haven't had any yet up to this point. So this is pretty exciting. I don't know if we'll be able to tell in the egg if they're Desert Ghost or not, but once they shed out, it should be fairly simple to tell. So really some simple basic morphs in this, but the combinations are going to be awesome, and I'm excited to share it with you. I love peeking in and seeing them for the first time, and I know you do too, so it makes me happy to share it with you. Before we get into the cutting, I do have a question for you today. Comment down below and tell me if you could have any ball python morph or combo, what would you want and why? I look forward to reading your comments. Let's get into this cutting. Alrighty, folks. Well, another exciting opportunity here. Let me make sure I've got the lighting in a good place. I'm going to shift just a little bit here and hopefully get good lighting for you guys. So this was our Desert Ghost het clown male to a fire pinstripe yellow belly het Desert Ghost. Nothing super crazy, but we are looking for our first Desert Ghost combo, so I'm excited about that. But honestly, I don't know if I'll be able to tell in the egg if they're Desert Ghost or not because I've never produced them. So this should be fun and exciting. Let's take a look and get right into it. All right, I see one little noggin that does not look desert ghost, and I see another one. You see, he just brought his nose out. Oh, so cool, so cool. And we get our first lucky number 7 egg of the season. This one is pipped over here too. Number 1, 2, and 6 have pipped. The rest have not. So let's take a look and see. Got a little different angle here today. I'm going to try and keep them in front of you so you can see. But if you've watched any of these, you know sometimes I get a little excited and distracted and I get off the camera. So if I do that, I apologize in advance. But let's take a look at number 1. See what we've got. Sorry, I'm a little excited. After a long day, this is awesome to come home to. And I'm going to guess that this right here is a desert ghost. I don't see, obviously, no pinstripe. But it's very clean pattern, very light. So I'm thinking we maybe have a DG here. There's his nose, if he'll stick it out for me. Can I see your face? Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I also, even though the gene has been around forever, he's sticking his face out, so I'm going to bring him back over here. I've never actually produced fireball pythons either. So we'll just have to get them out here and get a better look. Hey, little buddy. You look stuck, but welcome to the world. Don't seem shy. Can I help you get unstuck here, hopefully? Seems like he's actually, you know, since their noses are pointed, they can cut a little slit in that egg and get it out and then get stuck. So I'm going to try and very gently clip behind his head there. These are a blunt tip on these scissors. Good job, buddy. So poking them can't cause injury unless I were to jab them really hard, which obviously I'm not going to do. Let's give you a little more space here, buddy. You did a good job cutting out of there. These eggs are pretty small. This was a first-time mom on the smaller side. So I believe we're probably looking at just a wild type here. I say just, I think wild types are absolutely beautiful, which is why I don't like calling them normals. But I think we got a wild type. I'm going to bring this one back over so we can kind of look at them side by side. And you can see just the difference in how much cleaner this pattern is. So it'll be interesting to see that little one crawl out. Could be a desert ghost. Looks like it to me. We'll keep going here. My back's a little tight, so standing over this thing is a little tricky for me, but we're going to move right along. You see a little bit of red going out there. There are blood vessels along the edge of the egg. They are not connected to the snake. We did not harm the snake in any way. That's not the snake's blood. He's not cut or anything like that. Completely fine. All right. Ooh, now this is a nice looking animal. Again, clearly not pinstripe, but I'm thinking it'll be hard to say until he gets out. My initial thought is yellow belly desert ghost. There's definitely flaming up at the sides, but it's clean. It's not pixelated like a yellow belly normally would, and it's brighter, less, just a much cleaner saddle. So again, be interesting to see once it crawls out. Only so much we can tell now. But I like it that way. I like it when you get to see, oh, hey, buddy. He's sticking his nose out now a little bit, which is just always cool when they come out and say hi. Anyway, on our last clutch 1 of the season, I did try moving them over onto a Lignacell. If you haven't watched the videos before, I moved them to a different container because this hatching medium vermiculite gets everywhere, makes quite a mess, a lot to clean up. So I moved them over to a cleaner tub for them to finish their absorbing and crawl out, just because it makes less mess. All right, cool. So we got our first pinstripe of the clutch. Pinstripe fire, maybe pinstripe yellow belly, hard to tell. I'm not thinking DG, but again, we'll have to wait till it crawls out. to see. But first pinstripe, my first pinstripe of the year. I really like the pinstripe gene. It's been around for a long time and a little underrated, I think, now, just because it's been out for a while. People don't seem to think as much, but I still get a lot of requests for them. People really love them, so always glad to see a cool pinstripe. All right, number 5, moving right along here. We don't want this to get too long. But great 8-egg clutch from a first-time mom. So really excited about these animals and how good she did for us. Ooh! Very pretty. So that might be a fire pinstripe. Again, I'm not thinking DG. Very clean. I don't think it's yellow belly. I think maybe fire pinstripe. Could be DG pinstripe. Could be fire DG pinstripe. But I'm leaning towards fire pin. We'll see when it crawls out if we can get a little bit better idea there. Which, forgive me, I know I sound like a broken record saying that on each one. Obviously, all of them, we got to give them a chance to crawl out to try and get a better view. Some of them you can definitely tell, but especially when there's a couple genes that they're not necessarily new. I just haven't personally worked with them, and so it kind of takes some getting used to and some research and some trial and error, and sometimes consulting some more experienced breeders that have worked with these genes. Another pinstripe, so now 3 no pinstripes, 3 pinstripes in a row. And this one's a little brighter. It looks a little brighter than a typical pinstripe, but I don't see anything crazy. We'll see when it crawls out. I can't say for sure. But again, another pinstripe. Now, this year I've been marking all of my number 7 eggs if I got 7 eggs in the clutch 3 times, because why not? We're 7th level reptiles. So I'm going to save number 7 for last. And we'll see what's in there. So number 8, and then we'll get to our favorite number at the end. And hopefully it's a baby that's on a whole nother level. Ready for the reveal? Ooh, that's pretty. Huh. Interesting. I'm going to guess maybe fire. Can't see a lot. I'm going to guess fire. But again, wait till it crawls out, till it sheds. This has been fun. Unfortunately, we are at the last egg, which is a good 8-egg clutch. Now, I think the next clutch we have hatching, not the next one, but 2 clutches after this will be our 11-egg clutch. So that one that'll be a lot of fun. It'll take a little while to get through all those. And that'll be just exciting. The next clutch after this is one I'm really, really, really excited about. So I can't wait to cut the next clutch with you, which is due to hatch in a couple days. So won't have to wait too long, although the video might come out a little later. We try to do one a week. So, all right, lucky number 7. Let's take a look here and see. Whee! Again, not sure. Maybe fire. Maybe a desert ghost. So, some really nice looking babies here. Definitely hit some DG, but I'm not sure how many. We'll see once they're all good and cleaned up and shed out. It'll get a lot easier to tell. But here is our clutch. You can see we had 3 out of the 8 came out pinstripe. So not quite exactly the odds, but we definitely got some desert ghosts. We got some fire. Sure, there's yellow belly mixed in there as well. No clowns. Not that I was expecting anybody, but if I found a hidden clown gene, that would not have hurt my feelings whatsoever. But anyway, I'm going to get these babies back in the incubator. We'll give them a couple days back in the incubator to let them finish absorbing what they can absorb of their egg sac nutrients, and then they'll crawl out on their own. Once they crawl out, of course, we'll pull them out. We'll check them out a little closer. We'll clean them up and get them into a tub to wait for their first shed.
All right, well, wasn't that great? I am cutting back in here kind of unplanned. All the babies have crawled out of the egg now, so I thought I need to go ahead and get them cleaned up. I've got my nephews and Pop here tonight. We are leaving really early in the morning, like 4:45, to go on an awesome chartered fishing trip that I'm doing for my dad for his birthday. And so I wanted to get these guys cleaned up real quick and into their shedding tub. And I thought I'll go ahead and capture that and share it with you guys so you can see it. But I'm going to be kind of a little bit in a hurry, so I'm going to show them off, but I'm not going to talk as much as I normally do, just because I kind of need to get this done and get moving on to the next thing. But I thought, hey, this is going to look good, so let me share it with you guys. Hope you enjoy.
All right, sorry I forgot the mic, so hopefully you hear me there. I'm not going to re-record that, but here we go. Just a reminder, DG Het Clown to Fire Pin Yellow Belly Het Desert Ghost, and here they all are out of the egg. And I can tell you that using the Lignocell definitely helped with the odor, both in the incubator and out of it. So I'm probably going to do that going forward. But I'm going to speed through, show you each one of these as I clean them up, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, what's up, folks? Joel here, and it is time for another update video. I've got to confess, I'm a little fried right now, so I'm having trouble with my words. So if I say something dumb, please forgive me. Maybe it'll be a little more entertaining. Been spent the last few hours doing deep clean here in the snake room, and I decided to take a break because I ran out of clean tubs, and I don't feel like washing them at this moment. But we have Clutch 2 has finally shed out. I think they're all completed their first shed. Sometimes they'll trick you, and one or two might be lagging behind, but I think they've all shed. So it's time to get them out and into their individual tubs. I want to do that now. And of course, I want to bring you guys along for that journey because you're always asking to see the updates. So as a reminder, Clutch 2 is our Desert Ghost clutch. This was a Desert Ghost Het Clown male paired to a Fire Pinstripe Yellow Belly Het Desert Ghost female. So some of these will visually be Desert Ghosts. Any that are not will definitely be Het for Desert Ghost. And all of the babies will be 50% probability of being Het for Clown. No way to tell that visually, unfortunately, but they all have the probability of being Het for Clown as well. So anyway, without rambling on too much longer, let me go ahead and turn the camera around. Let's take a look at these babies with their fresh skin on. All right, well, welcome back to the clutch. This is a good update for with the first shed, but as you might notice, I sound different. It's because I actually left the room for a little while and my microphone cut off and I didn't realize it. So I didn't get a chance to turn it back on until it was too late. So I'm going to do my best to recap because I have no idea at all what I said that day when I was looking at these for the first time with you. So here's our first baby. I believe this is a fireball python, a really, really good looking fireball python. I do not believe that it is Desert Ghost. It is Het Desert Ghost, of course, but I do not believe it is a visual Desert Ghost. I think it's just a really bright, good looking fireball python. And I'm kind of moving it around here because I think I was trying to figure it out as I was looking at it. This is the first clutch that I've ever produced fire. I know that this gene has been around for a long time, but I've just started working with it. So I'm doing a little pop here. I think that's a girl, but of course I'm off the camera there. Sorry about that. So I can't tell for sure. But I believe it's a little girl. So of course I'm moving her over into her own individual tub, which has me walking across the room. So we get to sit here and stare at beautiful babies while I'm walking throughout the snake shed. Again, with these, some of these is my first time, so the ID, giving it a little time helps. That was a pretty clean baby, but a lot of pixelation in the saddles, which makes me think it's not a visual Desert Ghost, just a het. I believe the same is true of this one. We've got a fireball python, but it is not visual. Now, I need to go back and look at that first one because if you compare this one to the first one we looked at, you'll see that there's a lot of similarities. The first one was brighter, and if you go back, you notice a lot busier pattern on the belly, which leads me to believe now, looking back at it, that it may in fact be fire yellow belly, but that's not 100% ID, and I'm just trying to remember this as we go through it. I'm not physically looking at the snakes at this time, obviously, but I noticed that difference. Now, as we move on, this one looks quite a bit different. This is a fire Desert Ghost, I believe yellow belly. I believe that Desert Ghost is cleaning that yellow belly up a lot. But you can see how it has those yellow streaks on the side running down its belly. You can see how the flaming here comes up the sides, which is what I'm trying to show you, which is very typical for yellow belly. And this animal is very, very bright, but it has a very clean pattern, definitely enhanced over the other two. So I believe we actually have the visual Desert Ghost version here, and that is a boy. I know I got kind of blurry on the camera there, but if you saw those two little red dots, that's a indication of hemipenes, and it is a male. So pretty awesome. Again, I am walking back and forth, so bear with me. This clutch is pretty nice. Nothing like crazy earth-shattering, but just a bunch of really nice-looking animals. You can see as we're separating this one here, and the shed wants to come with it. Again, we're looking at a beautiful animal. Fire yellow belly, perhaps. It's hard to say for sure. The underside doesn't look very pixelated. So this may be, again, just a really good looking fire het Desert Ghost, not a visual. But there is flaming up the side, so it has some minor yellow belly characteristics, but really doesn't look like it on the belly. So we'll try again here to sex this little fella, or little lady as it turns out. And I am sorry, I had no idea I was giving such an up-close view of bladder expression. Obviously, none of these that we looked at so far have had the pinstripe gene, but we will get to those here in just a second. We'll try and get down under here. I think I'm going back to the non-pinstripe and get all those looked at first. And here we go. Another beautiful, I believe, just a wild type ball python, the classic, as some people like to call it. And its least refined form, people would refer to this as a normal.
I much prefer the term wild type. It's a beautiful, beautiful snake, but it represents what you would see if you were to find one of these in the wild out in West Africa. Absolutely beautiful male wild type ball python. And of course, he is 100% guaranteed to be het for Desert Ghost, as his dad is, a visual Desert Ghost. So now let's get into some of our pinstripe morphs here as we kind of get closer to the end. Little buddy wants to go explore. Maybe he's probably just wants to find himself a dark place to hide, but we'll think he's adventurous. Isn't he beautiful? Anyway, let's look at this little joker. This is a pinstripe ball python, but I'm going to be honest, he looks a little bit off on his coloration. I don't think he's fire, though. Definitely not pin yellow belly, but it could be that he's just carrying some extra coloration from the influence of being het DG. So he is just a beautiful classic pinstripe pattern, but a little bit lighter than what we typically see with a standard pinstripe. So my best working theory on this little one is that the het DG is actually influencing the pattern and lightening it up a bit. That is a female, if you couldn't tell, and we'll get her set up in her tub, and we'll get on to these last two. I don't know which. These two are my favorites from the clutch. I really like those bright fire DG, but these two are so cool. Even since I've recorded this video, some of them have kind of come into their color a little better, which is real fun. This girl is actually a repeat carbon copy of her mother. So this is a fire pinstripe yellow belly. And of course, she is het Desert Ghost, which is the exact genetic combination that her mom was. Obviously holds a place in my heart because I saw her at a show from my buddy Troy at Balls and Strikes Pythons several years ago. We were vending a show together, and I actually saw her at several shows. And after a while, it just wore me down, and I had to make a trade for her. A little bit of cash, a little bit of product, and here we go. Mini me reproduction. We got another little female pinstripe, fire pinstripe, yellow belly, het DG, and she's beautiful. So getting her squared away, and then we'll get to this last little joker. Sorry that all the wet shed in the bottom looks kind of gross, but it's just the reality of it. And here we have our Desert Ghost pinstripe. You can tell how much brighter he is than the other pinstripe, the first one we looked at, and the pattern is more crisp and clean with better contrast, and that's the influence of the Desert Ghost in the pinstripe. And the cool thing about this little joker is that once, I can't remember if it's a male or a female off the top of my head, so joker will have to do. This little joker will get better as he ages. Yep, definitely a male. You can see that. Sorry for the explicit content. It's not really, but anyway, he definitely is so nice and bright, but he will probably get better as he ages, and his pattern, his coloration will actually improve, which is one of the great things about Desert Ghost. Is a lot of times it actually gets better with time.
So wasn't that sweet? Beautiful babies. Again, not the most complex, but just nice, good-looking animals. Happy to produce them. My first visual Desert Ghosts, and they look cool. So, like I said, nothing super fancy, but I think they'll be great pets for some folks. I always love the variety that comes out of there. So, pinstripe is one of my favorite genes. Has been for a long time, and I know they're still very sought after. The great thing about that is they used to be super expensive, but now they're one of the most affordable morphs, and yet we got 3 and they all look completely different, or not completely different, but distinctly different. And so that's a lot of fun. So anyway, they'll just keep getting better as they age, especially the visual DGs, and we'll have them all available at some point once they have fed and are ready to go. They all took their first meal last week, so they're well on their way. Thanks for joining me. Again, I thank you for being patient with all my technical difficulties that I run into. especially the ones that happen and I don't realize it until well after the fact. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this update. It's fun to share it with you. As always, please comment, share the video with a friend, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me remind you, please, to share the love of reptiles with anybody you can, and I'll see you guys on the next one.